Hello everyone, my name is Hermawan. In this video, I'm going to explain an important topic in linguistics, which is semantics and pragmatics. These two fields but study meaning, but they focus on meaning in very different ways. In this presentation, I will explain what semantic is and what pragmatic is, how they differ, and why understanding both of them is important in real communication. I will also include many simple examples so that the explanations are easier to understand. Now, let's begin with semantics. Semantics is the study of literal meaning in language. When we talk about semantics, we focus on the meaning that words and sentences carry by themselves, without thinking about who is speaking, what the situation is, or what the intention behind this sentence might be. The easiest way to understand semantics is to think of dictionary meaning. If you look a word up in the dictionary gives you its basic meaning, and that meaning stays the same no matter where, when, or by whom the word is used. For example, the word cat always refers to an animal. The word teacher always refers to a person whose job is to teach. The word red refers to a color. These meanings do not change based on context, and that is exactly what semantics studies. Semantics also studies how meaning combine to form sentences. When we say the boy is reading a book, the literal meaning is very clear. There is a boy and he is doing the action of reading a book. We don't need any additional context to understand this. Another important thing to remember is that semantics focuses only on literal interpretations. For example, when someone says he has a heart of stone, the literal meaning is that his heart is made of stone, which is impossible. Semantics only sees this literal meaning even if expression is commonly understood as meaning that someone is very cold or unkind. Semantics also covers relationship between meanings such as synonyms, which are words with similar meanings, antonyms, which are words with opposite meaning, polysemy, where one word has several related meanings, and homonyms, where one word has several unrelated meanings. All of this help us understand how meaning is structured in a language. Now let's talk about pragmatics. While semantics focuses on literal meaning, pragmatics focuses on meaning that depends on context. Pragmatics studies how people use language in real situations and how the listener understands what the speaker actually intends to say. Pragmatics takes content very seriously. The same sentence can mean different things depending on where it is said, who says it, how it is said, and the social relationship between the speaker between the speaker, tone of voice, cultural background, and shared knowledge also affect pragmatic meaning. For example, when someone says, "Can you open the window?" the literal meaning is a question about your ability to open the window. However, in real communication, this is almost always understood as a polite request, meaning, please open the window. This is the pragmatic meaning. Another example is the sentence, it's cold in here. Semantically, this sentence describes temperature, but pragmatically, the speaker might be asking someone to close the window or turn off the fan. The speaker does not say this directly, but the listener understands the intention from the context. Pragmatics also helps it explain sarcasm. For instance, if someone arrives late and you say, "Wow, you're so early," the literal meaning is a compliment, but the intended meaning is criticism. Pragmatics allows us to understand the implied message that is different from the literal words. Pragmatic meaning Pragmatic meaning can also depend on culture. In some cultures, when someone asks, "Have you eaten?" they aren't necessarily asking about food. It can function as a greeting or a sign of care. This meaning emerges from cultural context, not from literal language. Semantics and pragmatics both study meaning, but in different ways. Semantic looks at literal meaning, while pragmatics look at intended meaning. Semantics does not need context, but pragmatic cannot function without context. Semantics tells us what the words and sentences mean inside the language system, while pragmatics tells us what speakers mean outside the language system. For example, if someone says, I'm thirsty, the semantic meaning is simply that the person feels thirsty, but the pragmatic meaning might be, I want to go to drink something, or let's take a break, or even, can you get me a drink? The interpretation depends entirely on the situations. Another example is the sentence, you left the door open. Semantically, this describes the state of the door, but pragmatically, it might function as a request. The speaker is telling you to close the door, even though they never said the words, please close it. This difference between literal meaning and intended meaning is the heart of the distinction between semantics and pragmatics. Now let's discuss some important concepts within semantics more clearly. The first concept is synonymy, where two words share similar meanings, for example, big and large. The second is antonymy, where two words have opposite meanings, such as happy and sad. Another concept is hyphonymy, which involves category relationship, for example, rose, lily, and tulip are all kinds of flower. Polysemy is another key concept where one word has multiple related meanings. For instance, the word head can mean the part of your body, but it can also mean the leader of a department. Meanwhile, homonyms are words that sound or look the same but have unrelated meanings, like bat, the animal, and bat used in baseball. Understanding these concepts helps us analyze how meaning is organized in human language. Next, let's look at important concept in pragmatics. The first concept is speak acts. In pragmatics, we understand that language is not only used to express information, it is also used to perform action. When someone says apologize, they are not just saying words. They are performing the act of apologizing. When someone says a promise, they are performing the act of promising. When someone says close the door, they are performing the act of commanding. Another concept is implicature. Implicature occurs when a speaker suggests something without saying it directly. For example, if someone asks, "Did you enjoy the movie?" and the person replies, "Well, the popcorn was good." The listener can understand that the person did not like the movie, even though that was not said directly. The next concept is deixis. Deixis refers to words whose meaning depends completely on context, such as here, there, now, today, you, and me. These words cannot be understood without knowing the situation in which they are used. The final concept is presupposition. Presupposition refers to information that must already be true in order for a sentence to make sense. For example, the sentence, she stopped smoking, presupposes that she used to smoke before. To conclude this presentation, semantics and pragmatics both study meaning, but they focus on different aspects of meaning. Semantics focuses on literal meaning, while pragmatics focuses on meaning that comes from context, intention, and social factors. In real communication, we use both semantic and pragmatic understanding at the same time. Knowing the difference helps us understand not just what people say, but what they truly mean. Thank you for your watching, and I hope this explanation helps you clearly understand the introduction to semantics and pragmatics.